Let the record reflect it's 455.
All right, thank you, Mayor and Council. So this is just going to be a preview. You're not voting on anything now. This is just going to let you know what goals you guys approved in the previous for 25-26. So Council last approved this on June 10th of 2025. So you'll see there, there's 8 goals that you guys approved. And so what I did last year and what I updated this year is the projects that you guys approved during the budget process, and then how those fit into each one of those goals. So they'll be in several different places. This is just for you guys to review. Like I said, when we get to the first meeting in June, then you guys will approve on whether you want any changes to these goals for 26, 27, if you want to add anything, take anything away, or anything like that. So this is just going to be a preview of where we're at this point. Obviously, we're about 6-7 months into the budget year, and so obviously some of these projects will not be fully completed, or they're in process, or some of the projects down at the end are in several different budget years. So we'll just kind of go through those. So for 25-26, build infrastructure for greater sustainability, drainage improvement plan, valley gutter sidewalk, we do that one every year. The HVAC replacement we do every year. So those are obviously still in process as we're going through those. Bowie Street and Park Street sewer main replacements, those are being planned right now. So you should see something come before you in the next couple of months to get those replaced. Street paver, we already purchased that. You guys have seen that was between that and the trailer. We were way under budget on that one, so that was really well. We've been using that. Chris and his crews have a plan that they do put together, and I will share that plan with the Transportation Subcommittee when we come to you guys for the next mill and overlay as well. So we'll put all that together. And then I'll start updating it on the status update every month. And then the municipal building HVAC, we've got that PO that's been issued. They fixed a few things already, but that one is under budget as well. Number 2 is a plan to approach for improving current water infrastructure. You'll see there's only 2 items there. Obviously, we've gone through the bond process, so a lot of these improvements for the water were done during that bond project. The ones we did keep, and there are the wrought iron fencing. You guys approved that 2 months ago, so that one is under budget and is currently under construction. And if you haven't been out to the reservoirs, there is a new dock on Reservoir 6. And so that one is being used and everything else. And I do encourage you, if you have not been out there, go out there. There's a playground out there. There's 2 docks. We've got trash cans. We've got benches. Concrete that wasn't there the last time I think we took you guys out there last year for orientation. The wrought iron fencing is going up, so it's starting to really look really nice. And Robert, every time they go out there, there's people using it. So it's being very well utilized.
Summer, I was out there a couple of weeks ago, and the main gate was locked on the road.
Yes, they were trimming trees, so that we had to close it. That was a couple weeks ago. Yeah, they trimmed trees for like 3 or 4 days.
Oh, okay.
And so it was closed for that amount of time. So if anything like that, we just didn't want anything falling on anybody, because we had a contractor coming in. It took him about 3 days, if that was a couple weeks ago. So
Thank you.
it should be open now. If you'll see, item number 3 was strive for municipal excellence and enhance opportunities for communication. Several items there that we talk about every year: the auditorium events, the events that promote tourism, sports tournament, Bottle Rocket Bash, which they're in the planning process for that right now. You guys allowed me to add a communications manager, which we're utilizing fully right now. That's complete. The fly-in, if you didn't go out there last weekend, that was very well attended. I don't have the exact numbers of that, but there was people in and out of there all day, starting at like 9 o'clock, so that was very well attended. We also are continuing the bonus program for our employees, which includes spot bonuses, retention bonuses, hiring bonuses. That's worked really well for us. And then excuse me, the IT computer monitor replacement, we spent about half of that so far this year. Goal number 4, preserve the character of Greenville while preparing for flexible and sustainable growth. You guys will see on this agenda the GMA restroom remodel up in the lobby upstairs. So you guys, that'll come to you guys tonight for a regular item. Library furniture. John and his crew have replaced that. So if you haven't been out there to look at that, I think I sent you guys some pictures when that happened. It looks really nice. And then non-governmental funding that you guys approved, we spent about $17.5 of that. And the city council subcommittee supports who gets that non-governmental funding. And then support number 5, support public service, health and safety, fire truck replacement, pay as you go, the SCBA's, those have been purchased. The fire station generators, they're in the process of doing those. Wastewater video surveillance has been completed. The virtual environment for the for the PD has been, for Spillman, their main information system is in the process. Their traffic safety sign. Crisis negotiator phone was purchased a couple of months ago. The PO has been issued there. The Axon Taser replacement, that's been completed. And then the animal control safety upgrades, they are in the process of those. We just got 3 bids. Actually, I just got that in my email inbox, so we'll move forward with those. New fence, new gates, things like that. And I will show you why we need that, and we'll do that on the orientation tour. We talked about that. And then optimize opportunities at the airport, extension of Majors Road. The design is complete on that. We finally got approval through environmental, so I think, Mayor, we just have one more hurdle to get over on that, if we can just get them to sign off on it so that we can move forward. But we did get environmental on that, so that's moving forward, thank goodness. Our airport layout plan with a narrative. Too long, Mayor, definitely too long.
We didn't find any more arrowheads, did we?
No, we didn't. They found some cans, and I don't remember if you saw that, Mayor, but we found some cans and some things from like the 80s, things that were made out of metal that are made out of plastic today, really just kind of things like that. The ALP with narrative, that's underway, that's in process. We've had a couple of kickoff meetings with that, so that's going well. And then the airport master plan design for the south side, that is in design. We're probably about 75% on the design on that one. And then 7, preserve the architecture and green space for current city-owned spaces and facilities while striving for and promoting beautification within the city. So the dog kennel installation, that's going along the same as the other project at the animal control. So we're hoping to get that one completed pretty soon. It's just the installation in there is old. It's been through it. So the weather alert system in the parks, they've purchased that. And the John Deere Real unit lease, we've completed that. And all the farmers market awning, you guys will not see that because, I think you will see that. No, it's less than 100,000, so that won't come before you. That's something I could approve there. Same with the downtown solar lighting, and then the phase 1 of the downtown plan, which we're trying to get that downtown plan approved through all the P&Z and council and all that. Once that's done, then we can start moving forward with that. These down here at the bottom, these are just some of the major projects that we've been working on over the years. Fire admin, EOC, obviously we've completed that. The recreation facility is under construction still. The GMA technical upgrades, that project we completed within this year. The industrial park project just started construction. If you've driven through out there on industrial, you'll see a lot of dirt moving out there. The new water treatment plant on the south side, we're waiting for TCEQ and Texas Water Development Board approval on that one. Same with wastewater treatment, we're waiting on TCEQ for that one. But those projects, we have weekly meetings with those, so those are going well. The raw water line replacement, I think we get an update once a month on that, so we're really just getting back to punch list items and reseeding and making sure all the gates and all that, and we're really, and then once we get our transformers at the pump station down at Tawakoni, then that line can go live. So that's really what we're waiting on, and we should get that by the end of this month, which is this week, so hopefully we'll cross our fingers. And then the Caddo Tower replacement, that project is done and went well and was under budget. So other than that, that's just a preview of all the goals and the projects that go along with those goals for 25, 26. So just be thinking about for next meeting, what you'd like to add as far as a goal, if you want to leave these the same, anything like that. Just be thinking about that, and then we'll go from there. So I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Do we have a copy of this?
I'll get you one. Yeah. You're welcome.
Okay, the next thing we'll do is departmental and budget presentations. We'll start with the fire and rescue. Oh, I didn't see that. Thank you.
Error. Oh, okay. Error. There we go, perfect, all right. Well, good evening, Mayor, Council, appreciate the opportunity to talk to you tonight and tell you a little bit about the fire department and where we're trying to go this year. So what you see here is just org chart of how we look. It hasn't changed a whole lot over the last several years, so you should be familiar already with kind of how the department works. Some of the services that we provide, obviously fire suppression is the big one. You know, that's our name, but you'll come to find out if you haven't already, that's not really what we do the most of. We don't have near as many fires as we used to. We've really, you know, the EMS business is taken over. We have a lot of motor vehicle accidents, and a lot of the things that we do now is educating the public and trying to keep fires from happening. So also we have fire arson investigation. So anytime there's a fire in the city, we are obligated to investigate that fire. Whether it's arson or not, we still have to investigate it and determine the cause of the fire. Fire inspections and code, we have our side, and then Steve's office has their side when it comes to making sure all the buildings are up to code and the citizens are safe. Like I just mentioned, EMS. So if you're not familiar with what we do, we have a third-party EMS service in the city of Greenville, actually for Hunt County, and we, through a contract with the hospital, respond with them. So a lot of departments you'll see, they run the ambulance along with the fire department as one group, but we don't. We're a little bit different. And so the hospital pays us a subsidy to run first response with AMR. Another thing that we do is technical rescue response. And when we say technical rescue, that could be motor vehicle extrications, that could be high angle rescue or rope rescue, confined space, trench collapse rescue, and stuff like that. So those are things we don't do a lot of, but you know, they're hard to keep your skills up on. And so with the new facility, we're really excited about having that facility, and that'll help us keep a lot sharper on those skills. We do hazardous materials response for the county. So probably around 2010 is when I think we took this over from the county. They had some equipment that they wanted to give us because they just didn't have the personnel to use it. So we've taken that over and expanded on what they gave us. And what we've tried to do is target our biggest hazards within the city, and we have quite a few. You know, we've got a rail system that comes through here. We've got the interstate. Those are probably the biggest two things that keep us up at night, is trying to mitigate those risks. And then we have a few industries that provide us some challenges as well. But we also respond out in the county if they have a hazardous response. And our biggest thing there is just to stop the spill, stop it from getting worse. And once we do that, we have those people call in their own cleanup people that they'll pay to do that. We don't really do the active cleanup part of it. Emergency management is also part of what we do. And that's just really identifying the major risks for the city of Greenville. You know, and some of those we've seen over the years with the winter storms, the thunderstorms that come through here. Obviously, I think we've done a pretty good job mitigating those throughout the years, but that's part of what we do, is try to coordinate that and make sure we're ready for those. Community risk reduction. That's something we've really come a long ways in over the last 10 years or so with Sylvia and the work that she does, and I know you are familiar with her. And but really what that encompasses is her educating the public, and usually that's our elderly population and also our younger population as well. So trying to get them educated on how to be safe and take care of themselves. We have members on Texas Task Force 1, which is a big urban search and rescue team. There's several of those throughout the nation. We're proud to have those. Not everybody, you have to apply for that. You have to have a lot of training to be able to do that, keep up with your training. And so it's kind of it's nice to have those people. They bring back a lot of education back to us. We have to invest in them, but then they bring that back and they invest back in the department with that knowledge. There at the bottom, we're talking about TIFMAS, Texas Interstate Mutual Aid System. That's kind of another thing that we kind of expand on, gaining a lot of knowledge from it. And you'll see the wildfires that we go out to, that's TIFMAS. One of the things that I really like to mention about this program is it brings a lot of money back to us. A lot of our equipment, as most of you probably know, has been purchased completely through the use of TIFMAS funds, or at least half of it. A lot of our vehicles that, I don't know if we'd been able to get had we not had those TIFMAS funds. And so it's a good thing for the guys, and it's a great thing for the city as well to have TIFMAS. Talking about our community risk reduction program, these are some of the things that we like to highlight. A big one for me is our smoke alarms. So when I first made chief, we really didn't have a good program within the city to get smoke alarms to people. And so we partnered with the Red Cross basically the Red Cross donates the smoke alarms, and then we go out and install them for the population. We'll also go out before and survey the house if they want us to tell them how many they may need. So it's a great program. Doesn't cost them anything, and it's a win-win for everybody. We have our Knox box program. It's a residential Knox box. So if you don't know what a Knox box is, it's basically a key to get in somebody's house. So if we have an elderly person that falls and they have nobody in town that can get in their house, well, in years past, we've had to break their doors down or open a window or bust a window. It's usually something destructive to get into the house. And so what this system is, if you have somebody that's most likely not going to be able to get to the door, and usually it's our elderly population that have become immobilized to an extent, we can put this on the door, and it's the same thing you see in when you go to a restaurant, there's that little red box by the door. We have a key that only we have that we can get into that house. We have the residents put their key in there, and so at that point we could just unlock their house and go in there, and when we're done we lock it all back up. So it's a great program. We basically give those to them for the extent of time that they need it, and then when they're done with it, we get it back. So it's a good program to do. Sylvia's very active in what they call a law school, and it's living and aging wisely. I get tickled because it took me a while to get used to that, because people would call wanting to sign up for the law school, and I'm like, man, you've got the fire department. But anyway, it's a great program, and it just goes back to what I was talking about earlier. They really, she's trying to educate the public. A lot of it's false, don't do this, or have a step stool. And so it's just a great program that she does, and gets a ton of positive feedback from the community. Also, we provide CPR classes. That was another thing that we would always have trouble finding. People would always call, hey, do y'all know somebody who does CPR? And we were like, well, no, we don't, and we don't do it either. So with Sylvia, we've started those. We've been doing these programs now for a long time, but I think these are programs that are, I just think they're important to mention every year, because they just do so much good, and they're very simple to do. So we do offer CPR classes to our community. We have the Citizens Fire Academy. I'm excited about that program because we have a facility now to really be able to show our skills more. We used to have to do these classes in one of our fire bays, and it's just, you really don't have a good opportunity to show what the fire department's capable of in that setting. But now that we have our new facility, our new training facility, the Citizens Fire Academy should really take off and be worthwhile. I'm excited to show that off more now that we have this facility. Another thing we do, especially with our industrial partners here, is fire extinguisher training. So we'll go out with the industries usually once a year and go train all of their staff on how to properly use a fire extinguisher. And that's good. It's not that that's complicated, but the problem is if you have to use a fire extinguisher for the first time and it's in an emergency, people kind of panic. And so if we're able to get out there and get their hands on it once before then or twice before then they're much less likely to mess that up, if you will. Talking about some of our accomplishments this year, like Summer mentioned earlier, we're super excited that we've completed our facility. I can't say enough about how pleased we are and thankful that we are that y'all supported this project. We tell everybody that I never thought I would see this in my career, a facility of this nature. You know, obviously we needed a new office and we needed a place to train, but for y'all to support something that I think will live, you know, well past my career and anybody that's working in the Greenville Fire Department, you know, that takes trust and that takes vision from y'all, and that means a lot. So I'll take the opportunity once again to thank y'all for that. Backup generators at all of our fire stations, that seems simple, but think about the winter storm, when a lot of the places didn't have power, or if we have a major storm that comes through here that knocks out power. Now the fire stations have those backup generators where we've never had those except for Station 3. So now all our stations will have that. That project will be completed this year. They've already started installing those. Also this year we're expecting delivery in August of Rescue 4. So that's the one that's out at Station 4 by L3. We'll be replacing that apparatus. And then we've also purchased a multi-purpose utility vehicle that just was delivered last month. And so that will be out at Station 3, mainly used at the sports park, so to help respond out there. This graph just shows you kind of an overall trend of what our calls look like. As you can see, we keep trending up every year. If you go back 10 years ago, we probably had about, we were looking at around 3,000 calls. So, you know, the amount of calls that have increased, it's really proportional to the people you see in Greenville every day. I mean, we see a lot more people. And so in turn, we're just getting a lot more runs. Most of those runs are going to be EMS calls and motor vehicle accidents.
Yeah, that chart's a little bit misleading
Yeah,
because the middle bars are on a different scale than the other ones. So if they were to scale,
oh, I got you, yeah.
if they were to scale, those other bars would be like zero.
Yeah,
They would be
yeah,
off the chart.
yeah, you're right. You're completely right. But the overall trend, I think it's important for y'all to know is most of our calls are not fires anymore. They're going to be EMS calls.
By a long shot.
By a long
Siren
shot,
calls.
yeah, absolutely.
Fire is like a hobby now for you.
Honestly, I mean, for real, yeah. And, you know, that's also why it's important that we do have that facility. You know, in the past, we've got a lot of on-the-job training when it came to fires. And so we don't have as many opportunities there today that we did when I first started. And so to get those guys that training that they need is, it's more important now, so more than ever. So this first pie chart just shows you, I think the big number you're going to want to look at there is last year's budget was about a little over $10 million, $10,200,000. And moving, I'll move to the next one, and we can talk more about it. This year, the proposed budget is right at $11 million. So a lot of that's going to be personnel. We've requested a couple of additional personnel, which is always going to be our biggest expense. You'll see other increases, and a lot of those other increases are going to be directly tied to the new facility. It's a much bigger facility. Obviously, we have the training side of it, which requires more resources, and so those are going to be what's leading or driving those costs up a little bit.
Will you expect to see revenue come from that training facility?
I do.
As you partner with other
Yeah,
entities?
and give me just a second. I'll circle back to that.
Okay.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that. This is when I asked for the position. That's kind of what's going to be driving that position.
Okay.
So, but first, we'll talk about capital requests. So the capital request this year, a lot of it revolves around refreshing some of our stations. So Station 2 and 4, for instance, they're 30-year-old fire stations. And these guys, remember, the guys are in them every day. So they're getting used every day. And the kitchens have never been redone. The countertops have never been redone. And so literally some of the countertops are starting to wear through. They're just Formica countertops, and so they're just wearing out. Outside of that, I mean, that's just what we're asking for in those particular instances. Fire Station 2 has some Fire Station 4 has some bathroom issues where we've got some leaks that need to be addressed, so that's a little bit more. So we're asking for those remodels, money for the remodel, and then up top, the highway blocker vehicle. I'm sure you've seen those on the interstate before with TxDOT and their contractors that they have. So we're asking for one of those for our motor vehicle accidents. Right now, we're sending 2 engines out there. One of them is a blocker, and it's, our fire trucks now are at least $900,000, if not more. That's before we equip them. And so that's what we're using as highway blockers today. And so we're
Chief,
looking
is that an active truck?
Excuse me?
Is that an active truck? You're sending 2 active units to?
We do, yeah, and they're both working. So we're not going to stop sending 2 active trucks. So we'll still be sending 2 on major accidents. We're still going to send those 2 engines. We won't be using one of those engines as a blocker vehicle. We would be using this one instead. So you would just be adding another vehicle to it. And honestly, it's just for lack of a better word, it's a big sign to get out of the way, get over, slow down, and it's a sacrificial lamb, if nothing else. I mean, that's what it is.
Do you not have, a lot of cities have used old equipment?
Yep.
Fill it full of water, so you've got extra
Yep.
water if you need it?
Yep.
Do you not have equipment that you could use for that, repurpose?
So we have a reserve engine that we could use for that, but then it's, I guess I worry about us taking out our reserve engine and then not having a reserve engine after that. That would be the only thing that we have in the fire department that would serve that purpose, for sure. And has similar value. I mean, that reserve engine is going to have similar value as what this is. But
Well, I fully understand the need. I have
Yep.
2 sons that did roadside assistance.
Sure,
Parked
yeah.
this Mercedes, and one of them got hit on the side of the road one
Yeah,
time. So,
yep.
yeah, this is I've got a place in my heart for this. I'm just, 300,000 is a lot of money.
yeah, no, it is. It is a lot of money, for sure. Yeah, we're kind of surprised at how much these are, but I guess they do have some specialty equipment on them. So, yeah, but you're not, I agree, for something that's sitting out there to be a sacrificial lamb, it is a lot of money. I don't disagree at all.
So it's my understanding that your equipment has to, for insurance purposes, can't be over X number of years old? Or something. I've always heard that. Is that?
No, not that I know of. Not on the fire department side, anyway.
I thought once the truck reached X number of years, the insurance company said you got to replace it, it's out of date or something.
I don't think so, no.
Thanks.
No.
Thanks for killing that, 'cause that's the rumor.
Huh? Well, no, I mean, our ISO rating, they don't care how old our engines are. They have to meet certain performance requirements, and as long as we meet those, they couldn't care less, honestly. They don't ask that. Most of the time we replace engines is because we wear them out. I mean, they're not used lightly. They go from being asleep to, a code 3 full out response on a regular basis. So they wear out. But we have a time frame that we replace those in, and that's generally how long they last. That's what that's based off of. But it's not based off our insurance saying, hey, we're not going to insure these anymore.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that.
You betcha. And so the last thing on the list there is we have body armor on our fire trucks that we got several years ago. Thankfully, we hadn't had to use it, but it's out of date, about, I think, 3 years now. So we put that in there.
Is that firearms body odor?
Yes, sir. Yep. And I don't know, y'all probably, I mean, I guess we put that on there several years ago. A firefighter in Dallas was injured, was gunned down, responding. So it's not like we're putting that on to to go in, it's more of a protective measure, so, in case we were ambushed, if you will. So the two personnel requests that we're asking for is the command aide and the highway blocker operator. So basically, we were trying to figure out if we do get a highway blocker, how do we man this without drawing down our personnel that are already on our engines and not taken away. So that's where we come up with the command aide. This person would be virtually a driver for the battalion chief and a command aide for our battalion chief. And if you're familiar with the department, our battalion chiefs are the commander over each shift. We have 3 shifts, and therefore we have 3 battalion chiefs for each shift, or for each individual shift. But, so this person would serve as the command aide for the battalion chief, and also if we did get a motor vehicle accident that required the use of the highway blocker, he would just get off that truck with the battalion chief and then operate that other vehicle. Does that make sense? Because we didn't want to take a person off the fire engine.
Where would the blocker be stationed?
Station 3, which is where the battalion chief is stationed. And that also is tied into some of the costs that I asked for remodeling of Fire Station 3. That's why that number's a little bit higher as well, because we don't have any beds at Station 3 for that person. We have an old training conference room that we would turn into a quarters for the battalion chief. And then that person would basically take the bed of where the battalion chief used to be. So it's not a huge remodel, just because it's already a big open room. No structural stuff that's coming out, but you would definitely have to do a little work in there. So I wanted to explain, does that make sense? The way that was explained? Good, okay. Now going back to what you were asking a while ago, we're asking for a battalion chief over training and compliance. And that person essentially would be over all of the training, over the training facility, and would help coordinate not only making sure we stay in compliance with NFPA and the state and the Texas Commission on Fire Protection, but also coordinating, hey, can we get partnerships with the county? You know, I envision the county using this facility and other neighboring departments as well, but we want to start with the county and hopefully get an agreement with them where, you know, we can partner with them on a consistent basis, start hosting some classes that, like we do now, we go out to classes. And so we're hoping to kind of turn that around and have classes
For sure.
here.
And we've talked before in the past about partnering possibly with Paris Junior College.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's still, they were at our open house the other day, had a long talk with Dr. Ernie about some of their plans and their long-term vision, and they're still well on board with that. They just started a police academy. I think they want to get their feet on the ground and get solid with that program first, which I don't blame them at all. But they're still very excited about doing a fire academy. And that was it. Any questions at all about the department or stuff that we asked for? And,
Thank you very much.
all right, thank y'all.
Next budget presentation is the police department.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. I appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight to speak to you about the police department and our proposed budget. Listen to the fire chief talking about body armor and law school. Sounds like they want to be police officers. So this is our 26-27 budget presentation. First of all, this is our core values and our mission statement. They haven't changed. We believe in integrity, professionalism, courage, compassion, and service to all. What you have here is our current organizational chart, which is up to date. Our current staffing allows for 75 authorized sworn positions and 25 authorized civilian positions. Currently, I have 3 vacancies for dispatchers, and I have 2 vacancies for police officer. Normally, for every year up until this one, when we brought up our patrol districts, it's always been north, south, east, and west. So for the first time in Greenville history, we now have a central division. Thanks to our new GIS technician, he has gone in and we've looked at our calls for service numbers, and we've actually created a 5-district map. And those 5 districts can be divided in half, so we can have up to 10 districts. So this helps us incorporate future growth. So now we have a central division. And for the first time last week, we have an officer assigned to the central division. So this will help us in creating smaller districts for officers to patrol and hopefully increase response times as we grow. And we can, if we have more than 5 officers, we can assign, a North 1 and North 2, or wherever the supervisors deem it necessary to have that extra officer. So this is brand new. Yes, sir.
Central District is the green up here?
Yes, so the green, there's 2 different shades of green, it's hard to tell, but yes, sir, that is the new central district. We've kind of moved some of the districts around a little bit. The south is still our largest district, but as that area gets developed, we may have to, this is not set in stone. We do have the ability to modify this district plan as we need to. So if the south districts continue to grow in that area, we can make those smaller and increase maybe the east or the west to help take up some of that space.
What are these non-contiguous green?
Those are parks. It's part of
I see.
the overlay of the mapping.
Okay.
It came out green, but it's not really part of that green district. It's kind of
Okay.
misleading.
Yeah.
But those are some of the parks that are listed. When they printed off the map, it just kind of stayed green.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
All right. All right, so our year in review, last year we answered 35,946 calls for service, which is down 2.4%, 2.46%. So calls for service went down. Our arrests, we made 1,366 arrests, which is up almost 30%.
Two things probably have something to do with each other.
I'm thinking so too. We responded to 1,387 crashes, which is up by 0.79%. And then our traffic stops were 12,046, which is up 0.79% as well. Our response times, all our response times are going up. However, we're not sure how much of that was due to that cyber event that we suffered. And we were doing a lot of things manually for an extended period of time when our system was down. So were times, accurately recorded? We just don't know. And in these times, the month of August is not even registered. We didn't even have any times for the month of August for all these times. But for the times that we were able to track, they did go up a little bit, but industry standard is if your response to priority 1 calls is less than 5 minutes, that's good. And that's our goal is priority 1 calls to get there as quickly as possible. Those are your robberies in progress, thefts and assaults in progress, and so forth. Priority 2 calls are basically everything else, from barking dogs to burglaries that were not in progress. So, our accomplishments for last year, we added 2 new police officers and the new lieutenant for the support services division. Again, we had another successful summer of safety program with our kids camp and all the different kids programs. We were able to successfully implement 3 RAD classes, which is the Great Progression Defense. And then we recruited and hired 19 new employees, including 15 police officers and 4 civilians. And then due to a generous donation from L3 Harris, we were able to add the 3rd K9 major. This is just a kind of an overview of our new hires. 2 record specialists, a dispatcher, and an executive assistant, and then all the police officers. We sent, 9 of them to the academy, and then we had 5 laterals come in from other agencies. So it was a good mix. We also did a couple of promotions. Lieutenant Faust was promoted to lieutenant, and then Officer Rosemont and Officer Perez were promoted to sergeant. We had those swearings here in front of council a couple months ago. And then all the programs that we put on last year, we did the kids camp. Kids camp starts next week for this year, so we'll have all the kids there. We did our popsicle patrol, hunters education classes, national night out. We did our Blue Santa event, our Teen Police Academy and Citizens Police Academy, and then our RAD classes. We also, this past year in February, we were reaccredited. We've been accredited since 2014 through the Texas Police Chiefs Association. There's over 2,800 law enforcement agencies in the state of Texas, and of those, only 197 have ever achieved accreditation. So we are one of only 7% of all law enforcement agencies that ever received accreditation through TCPA, or TPCA, which is quite an accomplishment. And so Lieutenant West does an outstanding job of maintaining that program and keeping us. And when they did our audit, they found 0 deficiencies. No majors, no minors. They found 0 deficiencies. So we keep very good records, and we follow all the Texas best practices. All right, so our budget request for the upcoming 26-27 budget year. Personnel-wise, we're asking for 4 police officers and a patrol sergeant. All these will either be patrol or in support of patrol. As the city grows, we are according to the Census Bureau, we are the 15th largest or fastest growing city in the nation. And trying to keep up with future demands. Anybody I hire today is not for today, it's for down the road, because it takes time to get them in, get them trained, and get them on the street. One thing that we are looking at is we would defer all these hires until Q3 of next year. So it'd be the spring of 27 before we actually tested and attempted to hire these individuals.
The chief, the 68,303 for the sergeant, does that include benefits?
Yes, sir. All these costs are including benefits, but they're only half salaries because we are instituting it in Q3 instead of at the beginning of the year.
Half salary.
Yes, sir. So we're not paying for the position for the full year. We're only asking for the second half of the year to be paid.
Okay, so off the top of your head, what would be the total?
It's $129,000 for a sergeant.
68 is way too low.
Yeah, but that's only half of the salary plus the benefits.
Okay, all right, great,
Yes,
thanks.
sir. Absolutely. And this is kind of what we've done over the last couple of years. The staffing plan, last year we added 2 officers and a lieutenant. The year before that, we added 4 officers and a sergeant. And then the year before that, 3 officers, a sergeant, and then 3 officers and 3 officers. So we've been growing really fast and trying to keep up with the times. Capital requests, in your packets, the drone as a first responder was on there. However, after working with Brink, we have been able to postpone our implementation of that first free year that we get until October 1st. So that way we're not having to try to pay for the drone as a first responder most of the way through a budget year. So this way we can start fresh. So our first year, we have the opportunity to do it for no cost. We can see how well it works for us. We can keep up with the stats. And so then next year, when I come to council, if it's working out well and we want to keep it, then we will ask for the capital request for the $80,000 a year as part of the contract. The first thing that we're asking for is a CID interview room camera system. We have 2 interview rooms, and if you watch TV, this is where they put them in the box and they record them and they ask them to confess and they do the interviews and stuff like that. Our current camera system is old, antiquated. It's basically put together with spit and duct tape. And to me, the CID interview cameras are pretty important. You don't want to have someone confess to a heinous crime and you just don't have the ability to present that evidence in court. So we're asking for $30,138 for the new camera system. That includes the warranty, license, and cloud storage. And then it will be an annual cost after that of $2276 for the next 5 years. And then the next thing we're asking for is cybersecurity for the radio system. After our cyber event, we are looking at how we can harden our infrastructure to keep it less vulnerable. And Captain Starnes worked with Motorola and came up with this software. This is just the software package. Our IT would actually handle the installation and the maintenance of the software. So it's $5,760 for that cyber radio system software. And then we're asking for $30,000 for handheld radios for the command post. We found that when we implement the command post in response to an event where there are other agencies there, they may not have our radio system. And yes, we can tie into sometimes their radios, depending on what type of radios they have. But if we had portables there that we could issue to different agencies, we are guaranteed communication. We're asking for $30,000. That would buy us 3 radios. However, we are requesting a grant through COG for 10 radios, but it's a 70-30 match. So if we were able to get that grant, then we could get 10 radios for the same $30,000. So if we get the grant, that would buy 10 radios. If we don't get the grant, we will use that money to buy 3 radios to have. That's our capital request for the year. So last year's budget was $14,840,721. As you can see, the majority of it's personnel costs. It's all personnel. Our proposed budget is asking for $16,314,105. Basically, it's a difference of $1,473,384, which is an increase of 9.5%. However, that 9.5% includes a 5% merit increase. Granted, getting all those positions that we asked for and maintaining benefits at a flat rate. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I just have one question. How's your applicant, I know you have some lateral transfers, but applicants, how's your applicant?
Last year, or yes, sir, last test that we gave, we had more applicants than we have had in 20 years.
But are they qualified?
We think so. We were able to fill all our vacancies for a period of time. Then just recently, we had a couple leave. Two of the laterals.
Better, right?
Yes, sir. I think it's getting much better. Greenville has a lot to offer, and we have a very robust benefits package. Our salaries are competitive, so I mean, thanks to council and Summer, y'all have given us all the tools, and we've used them to the best of our abilities. So we're pretty happy with where we're at.
When you got here, we had about 13 bills.
Yes, sir. Yep. Thank you, Mayor.
Do you think the eligibility changes that we made contributes to that as well?
I think everything that we have done has
Okay.
contributed in some small ways. We've changed the way that we advertise. We've changed the way that we recruit. Internally, we've changed our process to make it more efficient and easier. Before, it was just basically we would put out a date and we're having a test. And no matter how many avenues that we put it out, we'd get a small pool. Well, since then, we've instituted where, as you apply, you're assigned a mentor automatically, a current police officer, to help you work through the process, to make sure that you're filling out all the paperwork on time, that you know to be at the test date by this time. And then, so it really helps work them through. And plus, you have that communication with those applicants, and so they feel like they're already part of the family. It's not just, here, you're a number, just show up on this day. So there's several things that we've done, and, to be honest, a lot of the times, it's people look at the salaries and what am I going to make where, and then they'll make that choice by then. Laterals are more, they've been there, done that. They're looking at more of culture. And I think that our Greenville Police Department has an excellent culture and an excellent reputation. And so we've been able to pull laterals from some very large agencies. Not many people want to work west of us. They want to get out east. So it's a little bit different out here, and it's more conducive for police work, so it's very appealing.
You're speaking from personal experience.
Yes, sir, actually I am.
Okay, any more questions?
Thank you, sir.
Next up, community development. Steve? Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm in slow. Getting old.
We'll see you, Steve.
I was out to it. All right. Is it broke? All right, there it is. All right, this is Community Development Department, and this is, I went in and did my org chart first, if you'll see. We have 18 employees for the Community Development Department. First time since I've been here that we actually have a full department. It's been a long time, but I got a pretty good crew right now. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm going through this thing. Basically, Community Development Department, what we do is planning, building permits, inspections, code enforcement, public health, abatement, sanitation, and we also do the GIS system. The chief just talked about how they did the GIS for their new districts, and my guy was instrumental in helping them do that. And, we do have a good working relationship with it. I went in and did my pie charts up front. You can see my budget, proposed budget, is not going up a whole lot, and that's basically a salary, and that's mainly due to being fully staffed now. We also have one other thing in there. We got the new software program 2 years ago. We've been using it, but it does not work for the health inspector. It's the only department it doesn't work for. So I do have in this budget $2,400 a year inspection software that we can use. She can use. It's actually worked off an iPad. They hold the records for 5 years. Has all the state forms that we use for inspections already built into it. It's a pretty nice deal. Takes pictures. It will send an email or a text to the restaurants, pools, whatever we're inspecting to get that done. You want to keep looking? You got it?
I'm good.
All right, so I'm gonna break the departments down. So the planning department, we process development permit applications, provide land use and code enforcement, code information, administer pre-application meeting with the developers. I know most of y'all know, but Mr. Davis probably doesn't. But every Thursday morning, new projects that are coming to town, new businesses, new developers, maybe they're just thinking about coming to Greenville. We set these meetings up, and in those meetings are building official, fire marshal's office, engineering, and we take these projects and talk about them. Is it something feasible? Do we think we can get a zoning change if we need one? Can we serve it water, sewer, and all that? We go through that process with those guys, and when they do finally decide to do it, when they get ready for a building permit, we've already got everything covered, so we're pretty quick. Most of the time, if you go to Dallas to get a building permit, it'll take you 6 months to even get to sit at that table, and we get that. They talk about that to us all the time about how quickly we move, and we do try to move through those things pretty quick. So that's one thing I'm pretty proud of, that we've been doing that for several years, and it works really well. It also gives us an opportunity to every developer that comes in here is not what I consider to be a developer. Some things that we try to discourage from coming here, and that's a good opportunity for us to get to do that. So,
Steve, I just want to stop you.
yes, sir.
You mentioned that I had a conversation about it, someone has done development in Greenville
Mhm.
and is doing development in 3 other cities, including Frisco, and he was very complimentary.
Yep.
of what you do, so I mentioned
Yeah, we get that all the time. I appreciate that too, but, and one thing, we like to get on to the next thing too, so the quicker we move, if things get later around in the office, they get forgotten, and that slows the process too, so. I do push those guys to get their plan reviews and stuff done, to get those things done. Works really well.
I think Greenville's gold standard.
Yeah. We maintain the comprehensive plan. We prepare long-range planning documents. We ensure the capital program, zoning, and other activities in the city are consistent with the goals and policies of the city's planning regulations. And we focus on preserving the unique character of the city through maintenance of its planning documents and careful review of development permit application. And the other part of the planning that we do are plats. I put this information up here every year, and it's just to kind of show you the plats, the zoning applications we get every year, and the conditional use permits. You can see this year already, and that's from October 1 to May the 15th, plats are way down. We're not seeing as many of those. That does give me some concern, but then it doesn't, in that all the infill lots, a lot of those required replatting, so we've just about built out most of those lots now. What's really left now are single lots, so that's probably not a true picture of what's really going on, but they are somewhat smaller. Zoning applications, we're down to 3. Mostly the last year or two, they're picking spots that are already zoned. We're not having to do a lot of zoning applications, and that bodes well for the way we got the city zoned. We're kind of picking the right places, I guess you'd say. And then CUPs, conditional use permits, those could be for many different things, as y'all well know.
4 of those are for solar.
Correct. Correct. All right, then you can go to the building permitting side. We have a chief building official. We have a building inspector that works in town, and then we also, a lot of y'all may or may not know, we have a building inspector that I have one that works at L3. He is stationed at L3, has an office at L3, and we've been doing that for several years. One of the reasons for that is that, you know, if it comes through my office for permits or whatever, it's public record. And of course, a lot of things they do out there they're pretty secretive, and they don't want that information out. So he reviews the plans, does all the inspections, and all that information is kept at L3. And it works really good. We got a really good guy working out there. He's like me, he's getting old. I hope he doesn't leave, because they really like him out there, and he does a good job. Us, if we're on the outside, sometimes we do have to go out there. It takes us a while to get in. And so having him out there is a big plus for us. Takes a load off of us for what we have to do in town too. So I just want to throw that out there.
Does that guy help with any of the load that you guys take care of outside of L3, or is he fully dedicated?
He can.
Only.
He can, but it's not such a load that we can. I mean, honestly, right now, as you all know, it's slowing down a little bit, so it's not too hard to keep up with. We review all the construction plans for code compliance, and inspections are completed throughout the construction phase of projects to ensure that all built in accordance with approved plans and all relevant codes. And I just throw this out there because I heard the chief say it a while ago, you know, we don't have as many fires as we used to. And part of it's because of this right here. We got really good inspectors that try to stick to the code, especially when it comes to safety. Building permit fees, I think these dates may be wrong. I thought we changed those. We did 1,282 permits in '24. I'm not sure. I think that was supposed to be 25, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure about the years. Yeah, that's what, okay. So that was 24 to October of '25. We did 1,282 permits for $2,432,000. To date, this from October 1 to the 26th this year, we've done 1.3 and 1,141 permits. So obviously, we're going to do more permits. Now, when we say building permits, those could be for a fence. You know, they're not all houses or
Well,
commercial.
I guess my next question is, why is the average fee per permit so much lower?
Yeah.
Is that because it's all small stuff?
Because of the type of projects that we're doing, yeah.
So I did the math on it. In '24, you averaged $1,897.59 per permit.
Well, you could say that because we got some permits that are $25, we got permits that are $50, and then the average 3-bedroom house will run about $6,000. That's including impact fees also. So,
Okay.
but then you got, like, if you replace the water heater in your home, it's $50, or have to change out your meter or your electric meter panel, that's $50. Swimming pool's a couple hundred. So, yeah, they jump all over the place.
And I realize it's just to May 15th, but it's, this year they're down to $724 a permit.
Yeah.
So you're doing a lot smaller permits, more fences and less houses.
Right, we're not building as many houses as we were in the past. It's slowed down quite a bit. I do not have that information, but, so there you can kind of see the revenue from April 26th. I didn't do this chart, so I'm not sure. It's from when? Okay. Okay. So there's permit fees. And then your impact fees, I guess that's what we really wanted to look at.
So was the previous slide only for building permit fees?
Correct.
Okay. So really, that's not, this is a much bigger picture.
Yeah.
Than just that.
But, you know, impact fees are somewhat down also because we're not doing as many projects right now, so. That's part of it. We are currently fixing to do a study. The impact fee's been in place for 5 years. At 5 years, the state says you have to review those things, decide when those will be coming up shortly. We're working on that right now. We have a meeting, I believe, June the 8th to get that thing kicked off, and we'll be at a place where we have to make a decision whether we want to raise those or keep them where they are or whatever, but we'll see what the consultant says about that.
What constitutes a roadway impact fee?
Roadway impact fee, and roadways, water and sewer impact fees can be used anywhere in the city for, if we have to put a new 8-inch water line somewhere, or anywhere in the system, that's right. Yeah, so they could technically be used outside. Roadway is a little different. When we do a building permit, say we do one on Walnut Street out north, it goes in that particular district, and the only place you can spend that roadway money is in that district. So there's 4 different districts, and they're broke up. So as we take building permits in those places, those fees are put in those separate accounts. Roadway money can be spent on potholes, or it could be replacing the street, building a street. It can also be used for curbs and gutter, or can be used as drainage too. That's what roadway is. That's building inspections, and it's the same dates as a while ago. We did 5,871 last year, and to May the 15th, we're at 4,157 this year, so we'll be somewhere around that number. Right. So it'll be about there pretty close. And then we'll get over into code enforcement. We ensure compliance with city regulations. That includes resolving code violations, public outreach, working with the community on various issues, working closely with the planning and building divisions, and assist with upholding planning and building permit conditions. And we have three code enforcement officers. 2 of them are code officer class 2. One of them's a code officer, also a property maintenance specialist, which is another ICC license. One of the other code officers that I have is also a code enforcement 2. Also has the property maintenance specialist, but also is a certified building inspector. Another plus. Once another reason we don't have to grab him out there. But they work in that code enforcement division.
You really need 3. That's 120 hours a week.
Yep.
To inspect stuff.
To keep up with I'm talking about code, not talking about building permitting. I'm talking about code enforcement, high grass, weeds, trash, that kind of thing. These are the complaints we got. Same scenarios before. 158 complaints last year. We worked 2,268 cases, and that was for the whole year. This year, we're already at 105 complaints, and we're at 1,837 cases. It being the fact we added that other code officer, I think this number is going to exceed that one.
Well, and adding another officer meant you guys could be more proactive now, too.
We are trying to be more proactive. 2 of the code officers we try to keep on high grass, weeds, trash, and all that. Property maintenance specialists we try to keep geared more at property maintenance, fixing houses that are becoming dilapidated and such. In the past, we weren't able to do that with 2 because high grass and weeds, well, y'all can drive around and see, it keeps those 2 people really busy, and there wasn't really time to adequately work property maintenance. So what we end up doing is working property maintenance in the winter, which is not a good time to try to fix your house. So this helped us a whole lot. And then these are the goals we set for ourselves. Continue to address downtown property maintenance. That will be a lot easier when we get this downtown plan adopted. Continue to address residential property owners about property maintenance as well as substandard issues. Planning Department, we want to update the zoning ordinance. We're about halfway through it now, but I've set a goal to have that done before the end of the year, so we're starting to push that out. It'll also help if we get that downtown plan, we could focus more on this, but we are going to try to get that done. New permitting software, I think I talked about that for the health inspector a while ago. I think we finally got all the bugs out of the Tyler system now, and we're rolling pretty good with it, so that's going to help us. And then I do this every year, but where there's no vision, there's no hope, and there's no shortcut to achievement. George Washington Carver. That's all I got. Any questions?
Steve?
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Okay, it's 6 o'clock. We'll take a 5-minute break, and we'll be back here for the regular session in 5 minutes. Okay, I'll call this regular session of the Greenville City Council to order. Let the record reflect it's 6:10. Ask Steve Method to come up and give the invocation. Thank you, Steve. Please stand.
Father God, we come to you tonight, Lord, we thank you for another day, Father. We ask that you'd be with us this meeting, Father, as the council makes decisions that concern all the citizens in Greenville. Father, we pray for our country, Father, that you would set everything straight that needs to be set straight. Father, we just thank you for everybody that's here tonight, Father, to have their concerns heard. Father, we just thank you for all you do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Steve. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and please be seated. There are no presentations tonight. I'll call your attention to two placeholders in the agenda, citizens to be heard in public testimony. Citizens are invited to address the council on items, topics that are not already scheduled for public hearing or on the agenda in citizens to be heard. In public testimony, citizens are invited to address the council on topics that are already on the agenda, starting tonight with item 7A. We do have one public hearing tonight, and I'll just ask, are there citizens? There are no citizens tonight, so we'll move right on to item 6A, public hearings, consideration and action on an ordinance to approve a request for a zoning change from single-family SF3 district to a general retail district on property located at 8210 Wesley Street. Steve.
Yes, sir. This is Wildcatter piece of property, by the way. This property is right behind Tractor Supply. If you'll remember, a couple of months ago, we did a zoning change here. You know, at one time we were going to build a single-family 3 subdivision there, and that didn't work out. So they took out about half of that subdivision. We changed the zoning to multifamily for senior living and some senior living condos. And I believe I told y'all at the time we'd be bringing that back. We want to do some general retail just across the road. More about professional offices, doctors, pharmacies, things of that nature. And that's what we're here asking for tonight. There's 4.79 acres there, something like that. And I don't know if they've got anything for it yet, but the whole idea of it would be that since we got all the senior living and senior condos across the street, you know, they could be right there at the doctor's office and such. So that's the plan for this project. We sent 8 notices out to adjoining property owners. We didn't get any response back, either for or against. I took it to the Planning and Zoning Commission last Monday, and they recommended approval of it unanimously. I can't tell you a whole lot about it. There's a better picture of it that you can see it, but it will just be, that's what it'll be. There'll be kind of a street in between it and the assisted living facility there, so.
That's on the west side of Wesley.
Correct. Back behind that property that Wildcatter's on. This is a Wildcatter project, so. And we did approve the assisted living and assisted condos right behind it, so these are just right, there's a street in between them, and that's what this will be, so.
Okay, are there any questions for Steve?
I have their presentation if you want to see it.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I can do it if you want me to, or we can let them come up either way. I think they just,
Either way.
well, let me
You
just,
ready to do it?
let me just run with it since we got it. It is 4.5 acres. There'll be 8 buildings on it. Total build out 47,992 square foot. It will have 226 parking spots. But with 8 buildings, they're going to need that. I'm not going to go through the reading of all this. I think y'all kind of grasp what we're doing here. There's a picture of the Thrive Senior Living, the one on the right. You basically, if you look at the picture on your left, you'll see where Tractor Supply is. You'll see the road come through there, and you'll see where it was. And then you can see the single-family 3 that we left underneath it that's still in place. Hopefully, we'll have a developer that wants to come in and build on that single-family 3, so we're gonna leave it like it is right now. Of course, there's that picture again of what it's gonna look like. Just more pictures of it, but they're all walkable to the campus, for the assisted living, and that's what makes this a pretty nice deal. The concept of the finish out. And then they just got a mix. I mean, they're just listing things that could go in there, audiology and hearing services. I can see something like that, dentist office, something like that nature would probably work out really well there. And then they could have some offices there, whatever that may be. This is how they plan on doing it. They plan on building 3 buildings to start, and we'll start pretty quick. Phase 2, I'm assuming after we got the first 3 leased, they would build the next 3, and then the final would be the final 2 buildings, so. I think it's a good project myself. I recommend approval of it. I think it's just gonna fit right in with what they're doing. And then these are their comments, but.
Do you have a rough timeline on the 3 phases?
I don't. I mean, if it was me, and I think it's what they said, they want to build out the first 3, get those things leased, and then move to the next 3. And that's kind of typical of what we usually see.
Okay, any other questions for Steve? If the applicant's here, do they want to make any comments?
I'd be happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
Okay, any questions for the applicant? Okay, there being none, I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak in opposition to this zoning change? Okay, I'll close that. Is there anyone like to speak in favor of this zoning change? If not, I'll close the public hearing. What is the pleasure of the council regarding this item 6A?
Move that we approve.
Second.
Please vote. And it passes unanimously. Let the record reflect that the 4 members who are on the council that voted for that tonight. Okay, item 7A, consideration and action on an ordinance authorizing a contract with Axon Enterprises for the purchase of Taser 10 equipment. This item was last time. Chief Smith here to talk about this.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Due to some negotiations with Axon, we are actually not going to proceed with trying to modify our current agreement with Taser. So this is going to be removed from the agenda, and it won't be put on any future agendas. Okay.
Do we have to take action on this, or is that, what do we have to do? Judge?
No, just take no action.
Okay, good. Okay, item 8A, resolutions. Consideration and action on the resolution approving an agreement with Legal Shield to convert currently offered employee voluntary legal and identity protection benefits to the newly available enhanced plans at group rates. You're right. You're already here.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is an agreement with Legal Shield. So we currently offer voluntary legal services and identity protection plans through Legal Shield to our employees as individual policies. Our benefit broker is McGriff Services. And McGriff has been acquired by Marsh McLennan Agency. That MMA company has an agreement with Legal Shield where they can offer MMA clients enhanced services, meaning there is a more robust plan available. And for the majority of our employees that already have Legal Shield and Identity Shield packages, this new agreement will actually save them a couple of dollars and increase the number of benefits and services that they have available through Legal Shield. So the one thing that I do want to point out, and I did speak with Daniel about this, is the original service agreement that was sent over by Legal Shield did not have the required Texas legal information in it, the verbiage that was necessary. They did send us the updated Texas agreement, so you have a copy of that. I think Daniel passed that out to everyone. You should have a copy of that updated agreement, and that does have the red line version, so you can see what was changed. There should also be in the agenda packet a copy of the national plan coverage, the new and enhanced Legal Shield national plan coverage. Do you guys have that? This in the agenda packet? So it should be front and back. Everything on that packet that is highlighted is the additional benefits that our employees will be getting with this enhanced package. Everything that is not highlighted is what they currently have, without having to change their coverage at all. Overall, as I stated, most of the people that are enrolled in this program are going to save a couple of dollars a month. We did identify one employee who is enrolled in a grandfathered bundled rate, and his plan will go up less than $1 a month. I think it's a difference of about 40 cents a month of an increase that he will see. And there are 2 employees that are enrolled in unbundled packages, and they'll see an increase of like $1.40 a month. So only 3 of the employees that are currently enrolled in Legal Shield and ID Shield services will see an increase. Everyone else will see a decrease, and this is a service that they can enroll in at any time during the year. It is not tied to open enrollment and does not have to be accompanied by a qualified life event. And I will entertain any questions.
I noticed that there doesn't appear to be any criminal services here.
On ID Shield.
No, on Legal Shield.
No, on Legal Shield, you get legal representation. I'm sorry, legal consultation,
Okay,
but no, not representation.
okay.
Other questions?
It mentions an office they can visit. Where would that office be?
It depends on where they are located. So they can contact the Legal Shield's customer service. They will provide their zip code, and then Legal Shield will let them know what, what contracted lawyers are in their area.
Is this a standard plan that they offer, or do you or whoever like go through and choose each?
No, this would be a standard plan. So this plan, there are 2 different types of plans. The plan that we have chosen for our employees does include divorce services. The other plan does not. So we chose the one that has all of the available services.
Any other questions? If not, I'll just ask, is there any public testimony tonight on any of these items? Okay, if there is not, then if there are no other questions, thank you very much for researching this and presenting this to us. And what is the pleasure of council regarding this item A?
Make a motion to approve.
Please vote. And it passes unanimously 4-0. Consideration in item 8B, consideration and action on a resolution authorizing an agreement with ConnectWise Products. Ben?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As you may recall, last August we had a cyber incident that did slow down some operations throughout the city. As part of our ongoing efforts to strengthen our cybersecurity and some of the redundancies throughout the city, we have looked at a variety of different vendors and different contractors that could help with some of these items as well. We also looked at what would be the best fit for our resources and what would be the best fit for our city. Over the past month, we were able to pilot ConnectWise, which also included a cloud-based recovery system, which is called Axient, with the recovery platform, and we've been pretty pleased with the results of the coverage throughout all of the servers, including police, fire, and the administrative side of the city as well. This solution enhances the backup capabilities and strengthens our ability to quickly recover and restore our operations if any of these events do happen again, which should not. But it does allow us to recover any lost operational pieces that took quite a bit of time to recover last time. So with that, I do recommend that we go forward with this, and we do adopt agree with the agreement of 36 months with ConnectWise.
Okay, are there any questions?
What's the costs on this?
It's $1,680, so it's $1,680 a month. It's about $20,000 a year, $20,161.80 a year.
Do you know roughly how much data is being backed up?
Everything. So it covers all of our single users plus all of our servers, which is 16, I believe. So all of our servers.
In terms of bytes or gigabytes, do you know roughly?
Oh, I do not have that
Scale.
number. I can get that back with you.
Well, not in scale, it wouldn't change. Okay.
When we did go through all the testing and the piloting, we didn't have any issues with any stagnant data or any items that would kind of recovering any of those pieces. It was able to take everything that we had and back it up and store it offsite.
So I guess the reason I'm asking these questions is because it seems kind of high for just a backup service. And so I'm wondering what's the value that you get in return for such a cost?
It is the backup and recovery as well.
So they come on site and help you with recovery?
So they do not. So they're based off-site, so everything that they back up is in the cloud. So when we pull it, we can pull everything up to a certain date. So last night's recovery, we can just pull it. That will include all of our encode, all of our ERP systems, which is a lot.
Does it have particular integrations with those applications? Is that the value? Or is it just a file-based backup system?
So it does have all the readability with that. It does have some integration with our Sentinel-1 program as well, which is our cybersecurity, our additional cybersecurity piece that's kind of complementary to this as well.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Ben.
Any other questions? If not, Ben. Thank you very much, Ben.
Thank you.
If not, since there's no public testimony, what is the pleasure of the council regarding this item 8B?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Please vote. And it passes unanimously 4-0. Item C, we're going to postpone to a future meeting. Item D, consideration and action on a resolution authorizing a pipe purchase agreement related to 24-inch related to the 24-inch Ridgecrest line, 24-inch Highway 66 line, South Water Treatment Plant, north-south finished water line. Summer.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. These are three separate projects. We've been working on the design of each one of these. When we sat down with staff, we got one in particular Ridgecrest back pricing, and we felt like it was a little bit high. And I do have a map. This would be the Ridgecrest line that we're talking about here. And so talked with Sean, who is out in the audience with Underground Solutions, and so we sat down with them to talk through these, and we were talking about piping and installation of all the projects that we're working on with them. And so it was determined, we talked about, well, what would it look like? Obviously, the Ridgecrest line is only 3,420 foot of pipe. So when you're asking an extruder to build that size of pipe at that small quantities, they obviously, they're going to be a little bit higher. And so Sean and Tim really worked with us, thankfully, and said, hey, why don't what would happen if we took the piping out of all three of these projects, which obviously, with the Highway 66 line, that's, 20,520 feet. And then you also add in the finished lines that are coming out of the new water treatment plant, which we had budgeted in the original water treatment plant, of 11,610 feet. Now, Sean can go to those extruders and negotiate for 35,000 quantity of pipe. So we decided to go ahead and take those pipes out of that, the actual materials, very similar that we did with the raw water line, in order to get better pricing. So we're not having to go through a contractor, and then he's getting pricing and then passing that pricing on down to us, possibly with a markup if it does happen. Sean was able to do that, go to the extruders, and was able to, if you guys looked in your packet for both the DR 18 24-inch and the DR 25, those were both under $150 per foot. And then you had the 30-inch DR 18. This is all fusible pipe. So if you guys remember, and if you can go to the next one, Geraldine, this is going to be the Highway 66. This is why it's so large, because it's going to go all the way from Ridgecrest. So that'll be from Ridgecrest all the way down to the creek. So that'll service not only our industrial park, but it'll also continue to service Cattle Mills, which right now that line can go anywhere from 12-inch to 8-inch to 6-inch. It's just a hodgepodge of everything on down there. So this will shore that up for 24-inch. We compared that with our hydrology study that Bartlett and West, that Adam did for us. 24-inch would be for future growth, so we're not having to tear that up, because there's going to be a lot of easements. We're going to go by a lot of businesses, so we want to make sure we don't have to tear this up too terribly much in the future, way in the future. And then obviously the 30-inch that's coming out of the water treatment plant, the new water treatment plant, that's going to be the finished water lines. If you'll go to the next one, if you guys recall, we already purchased the pipe for the raw water lines for everything coming in. Now this would be for the transmission lines that are going out for the finished, and that would be on the north side, which is the circled, and then on the south side, coming down the Long Branch. So that's where those two quantities are. This originally was in the South Water Treatment Plant, but we decided to pull it out, bundle these three projects together, and be able to negotiate a little bit more. So what we were able to do, the total cost is $6,138,571.50. So we'd and that's pieced together. All of these are with bond money. Two of them actually the Ridgecrest is from the 2024 bond. The Highway 66 is going to be the difference from the industrial park project. So that was budgeted at $40 million. It was only cost us $30 million. And then the 30-inch for the finished water treatment lines are going to come out of the 2026 bond, because that's where we put the construction dollars. We put the design dollars in 2024 and then the construction dollars in 2026. So I'll be happy to answer any questions about either one of these projects, but this would be to purchase the fusible pipe for all three of these projects. And then we will come back to you at some point with the installation of all of these. Ridgecrest, Highway 66, and also the finished lines that are coming out of the treatment plant. So I'll be happy to answer any questions.
So by combining purchases, how much are we actually saving?
Sean, you want to talk about that?
Hey, good evening, Mayor, Council. Good to see you guys. In terms of the discounted rates, we were able to lock in a price of approximately 13%. It was a savings, I think it equated to about $800,000 in savings, so about a 13% discount. And one thing Summer did mention was kind of the I guess where we sit right now in the market conditions right now, with all the oil and gas prices spiking, and just being able to negotiate. We're losing our leverage essentially because everything's on the climb. We're almost similar to COVID conditions, not that extreme, but they're going that way in terms of the materials markets, construction market. So being able to just secure a price and lock it in is definitely something worth doing now, because it just weekly prices are increasing. Any questions?
I appreciate
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
for being
Thank,
here tonight.
yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so item 8D, is there a motion regarding item 8D?
Make a motion that we approve?
Second.
Please vote. And that item passes unanimously. Item 8E, consideration and action on a resolution approving parkland dedication funds and vendor agreements for skate park enhancement in the amount of $279,000. Brett?
Yes, Mayor, Council, good evening. So as part of Change Order 21, the last time we were here, we did the hardscape and landscape as part of this project for the skate park. And what this will be is kind of the finished details, the artificial turf that would be inside of it, shade structures, benches, and lighting for the skate park. And so the contractor did submit a bid for all encompassing, and this was a more cost-effective avenue to go about it, was to lump in the hardscape and landscape as one, and then use parkland funds for this, on this side of it, so. So, yeah, as you see in the picture, the shades will be slightly different. Those shades are a little bit more of a premium right now. So it'll be cantilever style, similar to what we have around the ball fields on each of those. And then the artificial turf, you'll see will be on the inside, the drainage areas, and then a perimeter mow strip around the external side so that mowing equipment and things can't damage the skate park itself. So, and then it'll all be lit up, which we're excited about.
What's that little bit over there on the far right? Is that just a seating area?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's
Okay.
just a seating area. Yeah, and you'll see the pavers kind of in between in the turf.
Mhm.
You know, they're designed so that kids aren't riding their bike from the parking lot into the skate park. So they kind of just to differentiate that and break that up a little bit.
It's great.
Excellent. Any other questions? Philip and I can't wait to get our skates on.
I'll let y'all, well, y'all won't be first.
I'm gonna let
but-
him lead,
yeah,
though.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, what is the pleasure regarding item 8E?
Motion we adopt.
Second.
Please vote. And that item passes unanimously.
Thank y'all.
I could ask the city secretary to read the consent calendar, please.
City Council meeting minutes from the election canvass of May 11th and the regular City Council meeting May 12th. Resolutions authorizing a memorandum of understanding with Wood County for police TAC and with the City of Princeton for police TAC. Resolution support of a joint application by the DGNO and the TNER Railroad for Federal Consolidated Rail Infrastructure and Safety Improvements Grant Award to fund rail infrastructure and safety improvements, and a resolution authorizing an agreement with Team North Texas for renovations to the Greenville Municipal Auditorium restrooms.
And I think those renovations to the restrooms was budgeted.
That's correct.
So, are there any questions from council regarding the consent calendar?
As a retired railroader, I was wondering what the grant for the infrastructure stuff on the DGNO and TNER.
The amount of it, like, it was 30 million, I think, were the total improvements. And then it was I think 40% grant match. And so they were just asking for a letter of support from us. And
Do you know what they're gonna do with it?
I do not know the specifics. I just know that part of it goes all the way from Sherman, Bonham, Denton, all through that area, and then comes down and does some improvements for us. I don't know the exact improvements off the top of my head. I'd have to look.
I didn't know if maybe they're making improvements in the industrial park or.
I couldn't. I couldn't tell you exactly. But
No problem. Thanks.
Any other questions regarding the consent calendar? If not, is there a motion regarding the consent calendar?
Motion to approve it.
Second.
And that item passes unanimously. Item 10, city staff and city council reports. There are none this evening. City council discussion of proposed agenda items. Are there any items the council would like to bring at this time for discussion or as proposed agenda items? If not, you have boards and commission minutes for the Parks and Recreation Board minutes that was conducted in August of 2025. Planning and Zoning Board minutes from meeting in April. At this point, we're going to an executive session. We have not been in executive session tonight, and we don't anticipate a vote coming out of the executive session.
We will probably have one for a property purchase.
Okay, there may be one for a property purchase. I'm sorry. Thank you for being here tonight. Hope to see you again soon. Let the record reflect we're out of executive session at 7:50, and we're back in regular session. Is there a motion?
Yes, Mayor, I have a motion. I move that the council approve a purchase of easement rights from Astoria Homes LLC for a .34 acre easement parcel for the city's dual 36-inch raw water line project and associated damages, that the purchase price be paid in the amount of $1,508, and that the city manager be empowered to finalize the purchase of that easement and closing of that transaction.
Thank you, Mr. Collins. Is there a second?
Second.
Please vote. Let the record reflect it passes unanimously, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you for being here tonight.